Hello, I am Sharoya Ham. I'm a behavior change specialist and parent coach. I want to know, have you ever heard of the quote, the hardest part about parenting is parenting ourselves out of our children? I love that quote because it's so true. Sometimes when we look at our kids, we just shake our heads. In fact, we even get upset that what we're looking at is what we've experienced and what we still may be experiencing. For instance, some of us may have anger issues, and when we look at our child, we see that. We also may experience anxiety, and we see how our child is struggling with anxiety. And guess what? We become afraid. But I want you all to know that one of the best things about parenting is that we have the power to affect generations. How do we do that? Well, one, we have to be humble. We have to look at our children and acknowledge, yeah, my child is having an educational learning challenge, and it's difficult for me to watch. And the reason why is because I struggle in school too. And it's okay if we can just admit that and recognize, well, what skills did we learn? And perhaps, if it's anxiety or depression, which often travels from generation to generation. I have clients and I ask them, have you struggled with anxiety? And they are reluctant to share that information because they feel guilty, like I passed this on. Well, one of the best parts about parenting is your power to affect generations. One, by admitting, and then two, by getting the skills you need to overcome those challenges. Let me just say in my own case, I suffered with depression all of my life. And when I start to see it in my son, I began to really get nervous. Like, is this going to happen to him? Is he going to have thoughts of suicide when he's a teenager? Then what I realize is, if I took the time to work on me and I developed my own skills for managing depression and anxiety, guess what? I just naturally began to display those skills and also teach him what I was learning. How was I getting through difficult situations? The breathing techniques, whatever I learned, I led by example. And then I also taught him a bit of those skills. And guess what? My son now has more skills for managing anxiety and depression than I do. And I laugh at him. I was like, you need to be my coach. But the power there is just enormous. If we just take our time and deal with some of the challenges that we face, we will be able to give our grandchildren the best version of their parents. So we can end up changing generations. I love that. I'll just even tell you another story about my mom. She deliberately wanted us to have a family that was just cohesive and had a good example for a father. When she was growing up, she looked around her and none of the men really cared for the women in our family the way they should have. And my mom made a conscious decision that she was going to find a mate who honored her. And because she did that, she was so deliberate, even after marrying my dad, of just helping us understand what a helpmate, what a spouse, what a partner does and how they treat you. Guess what? My kids, she has given her grandkids a great grandfather. They have yet to come, those grandkids. But when they do, my husband is going to be awesome because my mother helped me figure out how to select a good partner. So I want you to understand, in 2022, you have the power to affect your grandchildren by giving them and equipping your kids to be the best parents they can be for their soon-to-be children. Well, my 5 minutes are up, and I hope this time has encouraged you to recognize your power to affect generations.